My name is Mike Sharrow, and I'm from Alaska. My wife and I moved down to San Antonio a little over 5 years ago, towards the end of 2006. We moved down here to be closer to family and got settled in. What really led me down the path of choosing Southwest Exteriors for this siding project was really the issue of trust and quality. I had come to realize that both Scott and all the people he hired were people where integrity mattered, that you could tell they cared about me. I felt like they cared about their reputation in the city, and so they weren't just in to make a quick deal. I never felt rushed. I really appreciated the fact that I felt like they were trying to help me make a right decision, not trying to push me to a decision. And so when my wife and I knew we had to get something done in the house, we weren't sure if it was going to be a huge project or a small one. They took their time to explain, here's the options you have. I felt like they were very transparent. And so I didn't, as someone who was new to the decision-making process when it came to siding, I felt like they educated me along the way, and by the time it came to the point of really saying, are we going to do this or not, I really couldn't see us working with anybody else. The reason we did our siding project this winter was we had some moisture damage on our existing siding, and so we had some siding that needed replaced, some other siding that was beginning to fall apart, and so we called them and said, hey, we're not planning on replacing our siding right now, but something's got to be done. And they sent a crew out to check it out for us and didn't sell us anything, really just walked us through our options and explained what was going on around our house. They explained what we could do, what they could do for us, and really just kind of laid out the options. There's a couple different benefits since getting the siding project completed on our house. Certainly it looks better. You drive up and the house looks better than it ever has before. I think in our mind we were just looking to restore our house, and most of our neighbors would agree that it never did look this good. And so I think we actually upgraded our house without realizing it. I walk around the house, and what surprised me through the whole project is just how many details look better. We were so focused on the problems, we just wanted the siding to look better and maybe to freshen up the paint. And everything is crisper, sharper. The house just looks newer, and we weren't expecting that. The Southwest Exteriors team just went above and beyond to make me and my family feel special. My wife and baby were home during the day and I was at work, so a lot of my trust had to be based upon me feeling comfortable with the crews being here, while my wife and baby are here. And I felt by the time they were done, my daughter was sad to see them go because they'd been kind of like family for a couple of weeks where they worked on the project. What surprised me was they went to such great lengths to make sure that not just were my expectations met, but they actually helped me reset my expectations of even higher. They'd walk around my house each week and point out areas they'd like to do to improve or ways they could make something better. And they weren't upselling me, they weren't nickel and diming me. This was just them saying, hey, while we're here, would you care if we went ahead and made this look better, or we tweaked this, or we improved this? And it got to where I'd come home each day and I'd kind of walk around the house and I'd look what ways they'd surprised me with the way in which they made my house look better. And so I'm used to dealing with sales or processes where you kind of set your expectations and they're trying to weasel out of doing the bare minimum. And I felt like the whole time Southwest was always trying to figure out how they could beat my expectations. And they went above and beyond to make sure we had no questions. If we didn't have questions, they actually would make sure we asked the right questions so that at the end of the day there could be nothing to surprise us, nothing to disappoint us. They really wanted to make sure that my wife, myself, and our family were more than satisfied with the work they did. And they really left no gaps to exist by the time the project was done. It's a big deal. Tear all the siding off the house, all the debris, then all the equipment they're bringing in. And so in my mind, I'd prepared for my house to look like a refugee site for a couple of weeks. But every single day, by the time I came home at 4:30, everything was cleanly stacked up, debris was swept up, they raked around where they'd been. My job site, front yard and backyard, was always spotless. And they put a little sign out front saying something about value is beautiful and a clean job site is something special, and they did that well. It was very evident that they weren't just trying to rush to get you done. They weren't trying to just get the deal closed. If anything, they were trying to slow down and make sure they didn't miss an opportunity to serve us. And so that was really a unique customer experience you don't typically get, is where from top to bottom you feel like how this experience was for me and my family really mattered to them. And so that was a lot of fun.